Born May 13, 1844 in Saratoga County, New York, Seneca Ray Stoddard got interested in photography when he was just 20 years old, first taking photographs in and around Glens Falls, New York. It wasn't long before Stoddard started photographing scenes throughout the Adirondack Wilderness. Craig Williams, curator of history at the New York State Museum, was my guide to the Stoddard exhibit, which is a clearly focused presentation of one man's talents in capturing the lives, leisures, and landscapes of a most remarkable place.
We have about 500 of his original prints, and in the exhibit we have about 100 on display.
Wow, let's get started. Why do you suppose it's important to have an exhibition of Stoddard's photographs now?
For the same reason that Stoddard did it in the first place, that we're always rediscovering the Adirondacks. Leisure time, people have a chance to go up and explore the Adirondacks, especially after the Civil War, especially now. And I think Stoddard would like that we're each going up there rediscovering the way he did the Adirondacks and the beauty and the environment up there. How could you not be drawn to that? And you know, he grew up in Wilton, New York,
so the Adirondacks were in his backyard.
He could see them all right. Yeah. And just that vista, how could you not be attracted to that? He probably also recognized that it was being challenged, that a lot of these photos show deforestation, loggers, land that has been flooded and killed. He was very aware of that, and that's also one reason he helped with the Forever Wild Clause to protect the Adirondacks.
Tell me that again. He went in front of the state legislature in when?
April 1892.
And basically did a PowerPoint.
Right, a lantern slide show.
A lantern slide.
Like a PowerPoint, yes.
And convinced them.
It would have been novel at the time to have done that type of program.
And that's how Forever Wild got into the New York Constitution.
Stoddard was very much a linchpin in that effort. The power of a photograph.
Right.
Other people had written about it. There were countless editorials about the Forever Wild. How could you argue with a photograph? How could you argue with one of Stoddard's photographs?
I like the action shots that he gets too, and this is one of my favorites here, Craig. Tell me about this shot.
With the train coming through the just recently done tunnel. Think for a moment, the steam's up. He's had to coordinate something to get that locomotive there.
Yes, yeah. A lot of people are in on that photograph. And of course, all the lakes and all the paddle wheel steamers and the places to stay. I would think that the photographs that he did of places to stay in the Adirondacks did wonderful for the business of those establishments.
Correct. This is another good example of how he came back to the same scene. You see the steamboat, and then a few years later it's converted into a hotel. He's replicating the views.
Interesting. The picture on the bottom is the functioning steamboat, and then this is the same thing, docked, but turned into a novelty hotel. And didn't he do the first tourist map of the Adirondacks?
Yes, and we have a sample of it here. And it came out every couple of years. He did revisions. The last revision, though, is packaged in an automobile guide to the Adirondacks. So he's recognizing, just prior to his death in 1917, that there's, I don't want to say a new market, it's just a different market, people using different technologies to explore the Adirondacks, and he's trying to accommodate that. So it's basically the same map with some alterations, but geared toward that new automobile.
If there's one, if there's one piece of karma, if you will, if there's one piece of Ray Stoddard, Seneca Ray Stoddard, that we should be looking for in every Seneca Ray Stoddard photograph, what would it be?
Ironically, it's the people. I mean, we talk about the Adirondacks and the scenic beauty and the trees and the landscapes, but as we've talked already about his rapport with people and how they relate to the Adirondacks, you see that in the pictures. There's a pair of images on display here where he has a log jam, and there's one view of it. They're taken moments apart. You see the log jam. Then the second view shows a person in the midst of the log jam trying to undo it. So again, it's that idea of where are the people in this environment.
A lot of his photographs have become iconic to the Adirondacks, true?
True. You've seen some of his guidebooks with his photos. And again, these photos would have been available as stereo cards that would have allowed you to sit in your parlor with a viewer and get 3 dimensions to the images. So those in hand with your guidebook in hand, you could explore the Adirondacks sort of from your home. A teaser to get up there yourself.
But a real calling card. People came to the Adirondacks after these things got published, right? Thanks, in large part, to Seneca Ray Stoddard.
And those guidebooks certainly encouraged the on-site presence. So.
Seneca Ray Stoddard's photographs of the Adirondack Wilderness showed the world for the first time a complete and compelling look at an almost secret place hidden away in far upstate New York. But Stoddard believed it was a wilderness worth sharing with the curious traveler from around the world. His photographs are reverent, respectful, and full of wonder, as well as representing to this day why the Adirondacks should always remain forever wild. What is the draw that you want the viewer to take away today from this exhibit?
One of the basic themes of this museum is studying people and the environment. So these images are naturals for us, how we as New Yorkers relate to the landscape.
Well, it's a fascinating look back at the Adirondacks, at Seneca Ray Stoddard as a photographer. A lot to learn.
And you've got to come back. There is a lot to learn.
Yeah, you want to see this a couple of times over at least. I learned a lot, that's for sure.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. See you, Ray.